Alright friends, I mentioned in another video that I'm making a movie. It deals with that. What am I referring to? Ezekiel chapter 28 and Isaiah, is it chapter 14? It may be Isaiah chapter 14. Now, I want to say that we need to first talk about God. I'm working on a book also that hopefully will be released before Christmas or at the very latest at the beginning of the new year. And that book will be called The Impossible Idea of God. This is a book dealing with God's existence. I have the irrefutable evidence for God. However, I also am working on another book about God's existence. Let's deal with God. Someone will say, why does God exist? Because he's God. God is the answer. What do you mean, Patrick? I mean, God is the answer. God exists because God exists. Someone will say that's circular reasoning. No. God only exists because he's God. What are the qualifications for being God? The fact that he shouldn't exist. There should be no such thing as God. And he exists. He forced his existence because of his supernatural power. Therefore, the reason why God exists is God. And that's the mystery of godliness. It's a mystery. Also, you can say that God forced his existence, and in doing so, you can say that he did the impossible. You're looking at God and saying, wait a minute, you exist. Yes. But you shouldn't exist. Yes. That is the most profound revelation that you can have. And due to that, we also know that everything is created, including vision and sound. There's no such thing as sight. It's a created concept by God. There's no such thing as sound. It's a created concept by God. Think about that. There is no such thing as vision. Everything that we are looking at is nothing but a product of God's creative power. I talked about this briefly in my book, The Irrefutable Evidence for God, where, so when you think about that, and everything is created. And since everything is created, there's no such thing as logic. Just everything is a product of God's creative power. It works according to how he created it. So I say that to go to the next subject, and that is that it rebelled. Ezekiel chapter 28, people often misinterpret that and start to equate that as being equal with God, as if God created another version of himself, and that couldn't handle it and fell, and nothing could be further from the truth. It's the mystery of iniquity. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 or 2, is the mystery of iniquity. Why are people bad? How did a third of the angels turn out evil? First of all, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. God creates all of these angels. A third of them turn out pure evil. Get out of here with that. How sorry is that? But Ezekiel 28 is scorning it. It had everything, and that still rebelled. I won't even refer to that fallen angel as a pronoun. And all of the other fallen slime, I just refer to that as slime, and that person in Revelation as the nobody. And Isaiah 14, think about this, Isaiah 14, that doesn't really care about being equal with God. What do you mean, Patrick? We have to interpret scripture correctly. The absolutely most wicked thing that you could do is try to take God's glory and try to replace him, or at the very least take away from his glory. That's the worst thing that you could ever do. So it doesn't really care that much about being God. It just wanted to rebel and do the most disrespectful thing it could do. Think about how sorry that is. Think about how wicked that is. What a loser that is. However, see, people make that a superstar. They make it a superstar, and they make the nobody in Revelation a superstar because of their fallen flesh. And I've just shown how it is not important at all. But I couldn't figure out why the Bible was referring to the nobody so much, because I know that the nobody is not important. I couldn't figure it out, and then I figured it out. That nobody is not important. It represents the blindness of the Jewish people. That's why the Bible refers to it, the nobody, so much. It's a tale of the story of how the Jewish people rejected Jesus, and they now are blind to this false Messiah. See, there's a pact made in Revelation, but it's not because the nobody is so smart at negotiating. I believe there's a global war coming. There's a pact made because the rest of the world says that it won't attack Israel like it did before, for the global war that hasn't happened yet. It's kind of that's why Israel signs a contract, not because it's being persuaded. It is looking out for its own interests, based upon a world war that has not happened yet, in which it is going to be attacked. So that's why. So we need correct interpretation. I'm making a movie about this, so watch out for that. Hopefully that will hit my YouTube channel sometime in December. But that being said, stop talking about it. It's going to the lake of fire in shame, not a blaze of glory. Stop talking about it in our worship songs. That's to God, not that. It's time to Stop talking about the wrong side. It's going to the lake of fire in shame, not a blaze of glory. Just forget about the wrong side. Just forget about it. It doesn't exist anymore. Not ever. 2020 was its funeral. All right. All right, friends. Until next time. Bye-bye.